Or the dragon will do it for me. Don't hurt them. No,
no! Hey, man, dragons gotta eat.
Take out the kid. I fucking love goats. The kid.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Cam. This is Zay, and we are here watching Season 4, Episode 6 of Game of Thrones, The Laws of Gods and Men. I'm super excited to get into this one. If you guys like what you're watching, please leave a like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. It helps with the algorithm, helps our video get out there. Also, if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. That includes the finale of this season. But with that being said, Zay, what do you remember previously?
A lot went down. We did a lot of speculation in the previous episode recap as well. So if you didn't watch that, go check that out. But so Sansa arrived at the Vale. We found out that Lady Arryn was very, very jealous of the infatuation Baelish had with Catelyn, Sansa's mother, which was displayed as she gripped her hand very violently.
Well, she was also jealous at her. She was wondering if she was involved with
Baelish, probably because, you know, Sansa might resemble Catelyn to her. So we had Arya. I thought it was pretty funny. She was listening out, you know, all the doomed men, as the Hound called them, with him being the last on the list. And she was practicing over by a waterfall, to which the Hound basically showed her that water dancing and all that shit that what's his name from Bravos taught she was not. When it comes down to combat, it's not that important. Good parallel between Bronn and Jaime, where Jaime seemed to get comfortable and he took his hand and slapped him with it. It showed him that, you know, dirty fighting is how you're going to win. No one cares about pretty fighting. So it was a cool little parallel between those two. Dany got news that Astapor and Yunkai were both taken back over. Astapor, the council, was taken back over by a butcher named Cleon, and then the Yunkai, the masters, the old masters, basically took it back over, right? Or there was some masters.
I think in Yunkai, the council that she set up or something like that hasn't been able to like.
That was in Astapor, because Cleon took over that council.
Gotcha. Well, there's this array.
Yes, and so basically she's learning that it's not that easy. You can't just take a city over and be like, okay, bye, and everything's gonna be fine, because people will take over when they can. Marjorie, you know, getting her talents into Tommen. I can't remember if that was actually the last episode, the episode before, but
that was the episode before
the
last one.
We're seeing tension between her and Cersei. You know, in regards to the whole, will Marjorie become queen now? Will she marry Tommen and become a queen? And then Jon and Jon and Bran were so close to being reunited, and Jon took over Craster's keep. They burned it to the ground. Bran was told by the other warg that, you know, he's supposed to meet someone at the Great Weirwood Tree. So that's where I believe they're headed. You know, the direwolves are free now. Seems that Jon's going to be headed back to the Wall. Seems the women from Craster's women from, you know, his keep are not going to be headed back with them, from what it sounded like at the end of that. Like, they wanted to go find their own way, but they knew like they weren't going to go with them. So didn't really, you know, I'm still waiting to see Stannis and Rickon, because we haven't really got to catch up with either of them yet. Hopefully we do in this episode, but
or Theon and Ramsay.
Yeah, or Theon and Ramsay. Yeah, Theon's so depressing to see.
Yeah, I don't think we even got any Tyrion last episode either.
No Tyrion. No Tyrion.
We'll have to see how this episode goes. With that being said, let's not keep you guys waiting any longer. You can look down and to the middle, and you will see an episode bar pop up right now. Let's go.
Okay.
They've got the stag with the flaming emblem.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Dude. That is in reference. There was a...
Yeah, I know.
What the
That's
fuck
why I said look
it?
at that, because you mentioned it before, an area that like in the real world that used to have a stone.
I can't remember the fucking what it's called, but holy shit, it's so cool. Wish it existed today. I'd love to see it.
Welcome to the Iron Bank.
Ah,
Please.
the Iron Bank, as mentioned by Tywin not too long ago.
Yes.
Across the narrow sea, your books are filled with words like usurper and blood right. Here, our books are filled with numbers. We prefer the stories they tell. More plain, less open to interpretation. How many fighting men remain loyal to you?
4,000.
Ships do you have? The ones still afloat, Sir Davos, not at the bottom of Blackwater Bay.
Damn!
And how much wheat and barley and beef and pork do you produce on Dragonstone to feed your 4,000 men on your 32 ships?
None.
You can see why these numbers seem unlikely to add up to a happy ending. I'm afraid we must respectfully decline your request. But we thank you for paying us the honor of your visit.
You better fight, Davos. You better fucking come up with something.
Who's the real power in King's Landing?
Tywin Lannister,
How old is Tywin Lannister?
67.
67, and when he dies, who's in command? He's a tried and tested battle commander, and he doesn't just talk about paying people back, he does it.
Dan is just there skulking.
He's like, yeah, you better talk that shit for me.
Stannis looks at them and is just like,
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
listen to him.
I'm here for Theon Greyjoy. Take me to the dungeons.
He's not in the dungeons.
Not that they're on the right side, but I would have been like, oh, okay. Then once we got to the dungeons, look, you just said take you to the dungeons. That's what I fucking
So
did.
you said, yeah, bro, you get killed. You immediately just be like, fuck it. I'll find another one.
North Cage on the right.
Thank you.
Well, didn't matter either way, I guess.
At least I would have been able to buy some time.
We're going home.
What if Theon's like, no? Oh.
He's definitely terrified.
You're Theon Greyjoy.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking Schmeagol, bro. Like,
I mean, they've tortured him that much.
Turning into a lovely evening.
Man has no armor on either.
you're right. And covered in blood already.
Could you imagine going to save
Your brother and he's fucking that far gone.
Give me my brother, and no more of your men will die.
You've got bigger balls than he ever did. But with those big balls of yours, how fast can you run?
Make for the ship now.
For your brother!
My brother's dead.
Damn.
So she basically gave up on him.
I mean, that's a tricky situation because, like,
He's just too
do you
far gone.
blame Theon? Like,
No. But I don't blame her either. It's good acting by him, man. Holy shit. Like, I feel like he's scared, bro. Like, I feel it.
yeah,
Like, he portrays it very, very well.
I think all the acting in this show is
it's immaculate.
phenomenal.
Ramsay, the like maniacal, like cold-hearted, like I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. I have to like remember to commentate on this shit because I could sit here in silence and just say it.
There's a castle, you see. Some bad men hold this castle. I need your help to take this castle back. I need you to play a role.
Pretend to be who?
Theon Greyjoy.
And like it's like even showing he knows he broke him mentally, because the way he talks to him is very like childish and broken down. I need you to do this for me.
Right.
He's like, oh, how? He's like, shh. I need you to be ready. We're gonna play pretend. You're gonna pretend to be Theon. Fucking goats. I love goats. Yo, if you hit a go with that rock, kid, I will drop you. Or the dragon will do it for me. Don't hurt them. No,
no! Hey, man, dragons gotta eat.
Take out the kid. I fucking love goats. Kid.
It was your dragons, he says. They came this morning for his flock.
You better go hold him.
Tell this man I am sorry for his hardship. I cannot bring back his goat. But I will see he has paid their value 3 times over.
Yo, you looked in the back like, what the 3? 1. Pay equivalence.
Grimoire. Grimoire.
Khaleesi, that is the 5th man you've said you're paying 3 times over. We don't have the money.
I pray you'll never live to see a member of your family treated so cruelly.
Your father crucified innocent children.
My father spoke out against crucifying those children. Justice to answer one crime with another.
And this is what he
It's
was
not
saying.
that simple, bro.
That's what he was saying. It might be better to treat it with mercy.
Your Grace, I ask
If-
that you order these men taken down so that they might receive proper burials. Let me have him brought to the temple and buried with dignity so that he might find peace in the next world.
Kill
Bury
him.
your father.
Oh. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Dude, this is like if back in the 1800s when there were slaves, it's like if, you know, say people in my ancestry line say they were against it, but we weren't legislators. We don't get to make the rules.
No, right.
But then somebody comes and takes over our country and then puts me and my family
Right.
on a stake and like burns us or whatever. It's like we weren't the ones who wanted this, but we were associated with it, and that's what she did.
Yeah.
She put a man on a stake without asking who was involved and who wasn't involved, and just, you know.
Now, how do you ask
It's not-
somebody that?
but
Hey,
can
were
you blame
involved?
her? Right, can you blame her?
Were you involved in nailing those children? No, it was
No,
me.
yeah, I
it was
get it.
them.
Here we go.
They calling him Kingslayer, the Kingslayer brothers.
It's time for the trial.
I know.
Tywin of the House Lannister, Hand of the King, Protector of the Realm, will sit as judge in my stead.
Mm.
And if found guilty, may the gods punish the accused.
Shut up. Some fucking coughing in the background.
Did you kill King Joffrey?
No,
Did your wife, the Lady Sansa?
not that I know of.
How would you say he died then?
Choked on his pigeon pie.
Jamie's like, you motherfucker.
He slapped the king across the face and called him a vicious idiot and a fool.
What?
It wasn't the first time the imp threatened Joffrey.
Oh.
Right here, in this throne room, he marched up those steps and called our king a halfwit. Compared his grace to the mad king and suggested he'd meet the same fate.
Oh, why don't you tell them what Joffrey was doing? Pointing a loaded crossbow at Sansa Stark while you tore at her clothes and beat her.
Silence!
Hmm.
You will not speak unless called upon.
Missing out on any crucial details, though. Good point, though. To fucking. That's what you get, Marin. Hope you get your knees cut in.
My stores were plundered. By whom? By the accused, Tyrion Lannister. You examined King Joffrey's corpse. Was it without question poison that killed him? Without question.
Objection. Speculation. Lack of foundation. Hearsay. No.
He was last seen spiriting Sansa Stark. She wore this necklace, residue of the most rare and terrible poison.
Which was what?
The Strangler. Poison few in the Seven Kingdoms possess.
Definitely is a fitting name after seeing what happened to Joffrey.
All right.
Shortly before the Battle of Blackwater Bay, I confronted him about his plans to put Joffrey on the front lines. As it turned out, when the attack came, Joffrey insisted on remaining at the battlements. He believed his presence would inspire the troops.
No, he didn't. Oh my god, it's so painful.
What did?
I discovered he'd been keeping whores in the Tower of the Hand. Him to confine his salacious acts to the brothel where such behavior belongs. He wasn't pleased.
Tyrion looks like he's gonna fall asleep. He's like, this fucking trial sucks ass. I'm just getting fucking bodied.
Of this threat?
I'm afraid I do, mind.
Oh, you dumb eunuch bitch.
Monsters are dangerous, and just now kings are dying like flies.
Tyrion did say that.
Yeah.
You're excused, Lord Varys.
Father, may I ask the
I
witness?
mean, people got to watch out for themselves too.
Yeah.
You once said that without me, the city would have faced certain defeat. You said the histories would never mention me, but you would not forget. Be forgotten, Lord Varys.
Sadly, my lord, I never forget a thing.
This trial is interesting.
You will adjourn for now.
This is like Amber Heard versus Johnny, except like the wrong side's winning. It's like, fuck. I kept it vague on purpose. You guys take what I said about that however you take it, because I'm not going to say a side and have people coming at me about like...
This isn't a trial, it's a farce. Cersei has manipulated everything, and you know it.
I know nothing of the sort.
Oh, you...
He killed his king.
As did I.
Mmm.
Family is what lives on. All that lives on. Told me about a dynasty that would last 1,000 years. What happens to your dynasty when Tyrion dies?
What happens to my dynasty if I spare the life of my grandson's killer?
It survives through me. I'll leave the King's Guard. I'll take my place as your son and heir if you let Tyrion live.
Done. But Tyrion will be given the chance to speak. He'll plead for mercy. I'll allow him to join the Night's Watch. In 3 days' time, he'll depart for Castle Black and live out his days at the wall.
I mean, better than death.
You will leave King's Landing to assume your rightful place at Casterly Rock. You will marry a suitable woman and father children.
You have my word.
And you have mine.
Wow.
All right.
Jamie. Almost, I'm starting to like you almost, Jamie, but that usually results in something bad for me. So I'm gonna just bite my tongue. That was a crazy exchange.
Yeah, I mean, he was like done.
I will give up. I will have sex if you're done.
We haven't seen her in a minute.
Oh, it's gonna get sticky. Okay.
You know this man?
No. Say no. Lie, Shay. She has to say yes, though. She can't lie.
Yes. Tyrion Lannister.
This man stands accused of murdering King Joffrey. What do you know of this?
I know that he's guilty. He and Sansa planned together.
Yo.
She wanted revenge for her father, her mother, her brother. She blamed their deaths on the king.
Could you imagine being Tyrion right now?
Yeah, awful. It made sense though. Cersei knew who she was now. And so naturally, probably threatened her.
Why would he reveal such plans to his wife's maid?
I wasn't just her maid. I was his whore.
I beg your pardon?
His whore.
Shay.
I want you to fuck me like it's my last night in this world.
Oh, that's a weird way to skew the fucking occurrence.
And did you?
Did I what?
Oberyn.
Fuck him like it was his last night in this world.
Did you do it?
I took his face in my hands and said, I am yours and you are mine.
Oh, I hate her. I know she's probably doing it out of like force of Cersei, but
Please don't.
I am a whore. Remember?
Doesn't look like it's being done out of force.
maybe not.
After that, all you wanted was her. But
But
she wouldn't let him in her bed.
here's the thing: Cersei knew
Promised to kill King Joffrey for her.
that Shay. When we
Yeah.
assume so,
Yeah.
if
Could
she's
be.
threatening her life or promising her shit for testifying against him,
I wish to confess.
You wish to confess?
Jamie's like, fucking, what are you doing?
confess to what?
Saved you. I saved this city and all your worthless lives. I should have let Stannis kill you all. I'm guilty of being a dwarf.
You're not on trial for being a dwarf.
Oh, yes I am. I've been on trial for that my entire life.
Yeesh.
I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Watching your vicious bastard die gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores. I wish I was the monster you think I am.
This acting is incredible.
Yeah.
Had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
You can just feel he like
To his soul.
he's being honest. You can
Yeah.
feel it.
Not give my life for Joffrey's murder, and I know I'll get no justice here. I will let the gods decide my fate. I demand a trial by combat.
Oh shit.
Oberyn's like, okay. Jamie's like, son of a bitch. Cersei's like, what are you plotting? Tyrion's like, I got this. Tywin's like, what are you plotting? No, no, no. Oh my god, come on. Reigns of Castamere, please.
Yeah, right? What a fucking song to play after that. Wow, 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 wow. That performance by Tyrion might be my favorite performance of the entire show out of everything.
Dude, the way
It
that
just might
emotion
be.
that he was giving, like when he was like, when he went from like telling her like don't do it, and then he finally just snapped. And
He
I'm
was
like, he's gonna admit
he
to
was like-
killing him, and then he just didn't. He was like, no, I did not.
I did
wish I
not
had.
kill him,
But
but I
was
wish
a
that I
monster.
had.
You
His
think I
death
am?
gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores. Just shot right
Wish I
at
had
fucking
enough poison for the
Shay
whole
right
lot
there.
of you. He's like,
And
I should
watch
have
you
let
all swallow.
Stannis kill you all.
It was
I was
fucking
like, holy
amazing.
shit.
Yeah, bro.
No.
And you could just feel that is how he's been feeling over and
Bro.
over as time has been going on. That just pent up aggression and rage and anger at these people that are now putting him on trial for something he clearly didn't do. I guess clearly not, but
I will let the gods decide my fate. I request a trial by combat. I was like, what?
So Yeah,
let's just hop into Q&A. Holy shit.
All right, we'll get into that part. If you guys liked what you were watching, leave a like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. You can subscribe to stay tuned for more. If you're not already subscribed, we would appreciate it. But that's your decision. You can also hit that bell notification button to be notified the next time we upload a new video. If you want to watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. The link for that will be in the description. Zay, I know we talked a little bit about it already, but kind of what are your initial thoughts overall about the entire episode? And then we'll get into the Q&A.
That I could have sat there and watched. Like, they could have had. I wish there was a version of it where you could just go from the trial of him requesting it, like watching it straight through into like the trial by combat, because I was locked in, and it pissed me off that it ends on that scene. That was nuts, bro. I mean, that was the best part and best acting in the whole episode, and probably some of the best acting, if not the best acting in the whole series. That performance was insane, like you said.
Yeah,
it felt so real, bro. Like,
yes,
you felt his anger, like his facial expressions. They weren't over exaggerated, like telling people, like
you know how witty he has to be and clever through everything, and watch his words and what he says. And here he just let it out.
He's like, he straight up said, "I wish I did it." He's like, that would have given me, like, bro, and looks at Cersei. Watching your bastard son die gave me more pleasure, bro. I was like, he really hated him, like really hated Joffrey, and like he really, But let's get into Q&A. That shit was amazing.
All right, we'll start off with let's talk about Stannis and Sir Davos. They went to Braavos and they talked to the Iron Bank, and they said, "Look, you know, Tywin's 67 years old. Who are you gonna back when he dies? You know, who do you think will end up on that throne? We got Stannis right here, who has that best claim." So eventually, Sir Davos convinced them, and now they have funding, and he's ordered the pirate and help from him. So what are your thoughts on that whole situation? Where do you think that might be headed?
Davos really took a gamble. I just don't know if them and plus the pirate is really going to be enough to, like, I would imagine that they must be trying to go other places to get more soldiers. I just don't think that they have the military to take King's Landing. I mean, personally, they like, think about the defeat they suffered at Blackwater. That was a lot of people, a lot of ships. And if I was them, I would assume that there's more wildfire probably being made at King's Landing. You have to assume that they have more. And so
we know that there are sellswords. Do you think that he will buy sellswords? Sir Davos was talking to Stannis about the Golden Company, but Stannis said they're sellswords. They're not
and
gonna.
That's the problem. Sellswords might see wildfire and be like, "Fuck this," and turn their ships around.
Well, I'm gonna ask: do you think that they go the sellsword route, or do you think they find a better way to use their money? What do you think?
I feel like they'd find a better way to use it by getting actual, lords to back them, and lords that they can kind of, because like at the end of the day, sellswords are just getting money out of it, whereas like the lords like might attain more land or higher privilege, which they might trickle down to their military and all that stuff. Sellswords, I don't know if they pay sellswords before they complete. I'm assuming they must pay them before. Because here's the thing, when they talk about sellswords, the other it's either this, they're either paying sellswords before.
I actually am not sure. I imagine they would.
If they're paying them,
it would be after.
So look, if they're paying them before, it would make sense that sellswords like, fuck this, I'm turning tail once it starts to get hectic because they got the money. At the same time, it makes sense even if they get paid after, because I can live to fight another fucking battle and get more money for it. So sellswords either way are a very dangerous route, because they don't, at the end all day, they just want the bag. So whether, what I'm saying, whereas like a lord with a military, he has power over that military, and you're promising the lord this maybe land and power, which
But you think that they're going to use their funding to kind of,
I think it would
get
be
more of an
smarter to
honorable
go,
or loyal support system.
And then if sellswords are necessary to try to trickle it down.
Okay, how do you feel about the attempt to rescue Theon? That did not go so well for him.
Was a hell of an attempt. I thought it was pretty nuts that, she basically said he's dead. I don't think that she was wrong for saying that. I mean, she tried. Like, she really did give her fucking darndest, bro. Like, but he Reek was Reeking. He's like, no, I'm a loyal Reek. He is so mentally broken, and it was again amazing. Another like fucking scene of amazing acting. Like the dude, like I like at that point watching, like this dude's really mentally fucking broken. He's like a child. Like he just is gonna follow whatever is told to him. I'm more interested now to see what's gonna happen, you know, because Ramsay said, I need you to pretend to be Theon Greyjoy. And that is going to be interesting to me because how like let's like one, what is the plot for this? Are you going to try to send him back to the Iron Islands, have him pretend he escaped? Like where is he going? What, like, you know, he wants him to take back a castle. How is he going to convince, you know, the people there that like, no, it's me, it's Theon, you know what I'm saying? Because last time they saw you, you were a zombie, basically, for lack of a better term. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. Next on the list, we have the dragon situation with Dany. She, her dragon, the main one. I don't know if they've said their names yet. They do have names. But...
Yeah, I don't think. Here's the thing. I've been trying to think every time we watch an episode. I've been trying to think if they said the names, and I can't recollect a time that they did. I feel like maybe they mentioned it, but I don't want to say they did, and then you know it's supposed to be something. So I assume that I safely am assuming that they didn't, and so we're still waiting.
I'm not sure. Maybe they did already, but because I'm not sure, I won't say it. The main one burned down kind of this dude's goat farm, and you know, he's hungry. Can you blame the dragon?
Here's the thing is that I can't blame the dragon, right? However, that is also kind of showing that Dany might not have the tightest control on the dragons, right? Because we already saw it. We already saw the alpha snap back at her the one day. Now you have them burning down people's goats, and it's like that's a problem. You can't. How are you going to rule people when you have unruly dragons, right? People are gonna be like, I don't want to live under this person that they might kill all my cattle. That's all that guy had to make money was his goats. Now she's paying him threefold. She says, but
how long can she keep doing that?
Exactly, and I kind of made a joke about that. Like that's the 15th. That's the fifth person you've said we're paying threefold. Like we don't have, you know. So and it's not even for them. It's a short term. It satisfies them short term, but not long term. Because that 3 gold. Like if you paid them 3 of their monthly wages, okay. But what happens in that 3rd month if they don't have the same herd? So now they're reverting back, or they're still down.
What happens when it's? Who knows? Like, what if they have a goat on a ship, you know, and the dragon takes out a ship, you know, like
not even that. What if they get a lord or something along that lines on their side, and their people have their goats and cows and all that stuff, livestock killed by some of the dragons? The lord's gonna be like, what the fuck?
How's that gonna work?
How can I link with you if you're fucking dragons, your mother dragons, you say, but your fucking dragons are killing my people's shit? Like I can't. How am I supposed to defend you? You know,
we'll have to find out how that plays out with Dany. Still, we have the whole Masters situation, and the guy who wanted to have his father taken down so he can, you know, traditionally burn his body and to you know, have a proper funeral. And he said, you know, Dany was like, these men crucified these children. He said, not my father. My father spoke against it, but he was overruled, and he's on a stake. You know, he's on a cross. So what's your perspective about that whole situation, and how do you think that might affect things going forward as well?
That's showing her, you know, listen, she's starting to bend a little bit. All right, well, like, because here's like ruling isn't easy, right? It's never black and white. However, allowing a gray area causes for discrepancies, turmoil, people to start to question your rule. You know, if you rule with an iron fist, you rule with an iron fist, right? They know I can't act out because it doesn't matter how small the crime was, this is the punishment. If you rule very loosely, people might tempt fate. Well, oh, I might steal this loaf of bread. I might, you know, assault this woman. I might do this. Oh, because I might not serve the type of sentence that you would serve in some other lands, or it's not as severe as it could be, right? Or maybe she might let me off. You know, it's hard when you start to try to bend rules like, okay, for you, you know what? Take your father down and bury him. What if 30 other sons of these masters be like, well, mine voted against it. No, mine, like, what if
Right.
all of them come back? Mine, all, no, they were never for it. It was a lie, you know? So you're giving room for people to try to wiggle and create loopholes and start to manipulate your rule, really. And it weakens your power. So,
Do you think she made the wrong decision, or you think she made the right decision?
I feel like she might have made the wrong decision because I think that what's going to happen. I feel like she made the wrong decision. I feel like we're going to end up seeing the repercussions of that decision in a later episode where something occurs where, you know, someone bends the rules or she bends them too far and it causes chaos. And once chaos starts, it's hard to get it back under control. And as Baelish says, chaos is a ladder. So
yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. Now let's get into the juiciness of the juiciness. Tyrion's trial.
Yes.
We had a couple witnesses. We had Varys.
Yep.
Well, we had some idiots in the beginning, and then we had Varys who
Yep.
said, you know, he gave his testimony, and then Tyrion said, "Can I ask him one question?" And he said, "You said that you would never forget, you know, what I did and thing and how beneficial I was and whatnot." And he said, "Sadly, I don't ever forget." Because Tyrion asked him, "Do you still remember? Like, have you forgotten?" And so Varys said, "Sadly, I don't forget a thing." What was that about? I'll have to see what you think. But also, we had Shay come to the stand. And I know we talked about a couple possibilities, whether she was doing it because she feared for her life, whether she was doing it because she was angry, or maybe a little bit of both. But definitely, definitely pushed Tyrion's button over the edge. And all he had to do was plead guilty because Jaime and Tywin discussed, and it very quickly, may I say. And Jaime said, I'll forget the King's Guard. I'll do what you want me to do. I'll house our family. You know, I'll be the next guy." And Tywin said, "Done." But Tyrion was just so angry that he decided to go all out and give his feelings on everything. And then he demanded trial by combat. What are your thoughts about that whole ordeal and things I mentioned?
So I still think that Shay was a little bit forced. It seemed from the acting that she almost was upset having to say it. It seemed like she was saying it to say it, right? Like she had to say it, but she almost seemed more upset that she was like siding against Tyrion. I still think that she's very in love with Tyrion, very what, you know, she wants the best for Tyrion. And
she did look at him and say, "I'm just a whore," or something like that. Like,
right. But if you notice afterwards, it almost looked like she was like a hard swallow, like her eyes were tearing. And remember that, you know, Cersei knows now from assumption that Shay is Tyrion's is Tyrion's thing.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think it was a power play by Cersei to try to call her up to the stand. That being said, possibly I think Tyrion might have been trying to maybe save face for his father. It might be a hot take, but hear me out. You have Tyrion basically getting told, you have the whole crowd basically being told by Shay that she heard Sansa do it, that she was Tyrion's whore, that this happened, this happened, this happened. Hard to dispute because it's all basically true. Now, how would it look on Tywin's end?
Well, what Shay was saying wasn't true. Shay was saying a bunch of bullshit.
No,
Shay
but she was his whore. But yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah, there were truths in what she was saying.
The issue is that how is he going to dispute it? Because my whole point being, you have now what happens after that? You're gonna have Tywin say, "We'll just send you to the wall." A lot of people
you think he was trying to not have Tywin look like he's showing too much mercy.
Exactly. I think that he was like, if he tells me I'm going to the wall, a lot of people be like, yo, most people would be killed for that. Is it because you're a Lannister that you're getting mercy? Oh, you get to get sent to the wall. It's still technically
Do you
something.
think he cares about his father that much?
I mean, his father was willing to reach an agreement whether Jaime was the one that reached it for him. If Tywin really wanted Tyrion dead, like he always says he has, and was like didn't care about him and stuff, why wouldn't Tywin just be like, I don't give a shit about if he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give him the guilty verdict and have him decapitated. And here's the other thing too, is that, you know, the other part of it is that Tyrion's basically saying, like, I'll let the gods decide my fate. I'll have a trial by combat. In this series, people are very devoted to these gods. They might think in their heads, like, oh my, if Tyrion wins trial by combat, they might think, like, maybe he is innocent. Why would the gods let somebody be innocent and survive if they were guilty? You got to understand it from that point too. They're very, devote to that. Everyone's devoted to like their gods and their religion. So I think that it's risky as shit, but I think that it was also his best option to kind of keep, even if Tyrion, if Tyrion dies if Tyrion dies from trial by combat, he loses and he gets killed, then everyone will say that, the gods always know they were right. He was guilty, blah, 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 whatever. Tywin will be fine. Now, if Tyrion wins, people might be like, he might be innocent then. Why would the gods let someone survive? Da da da. And Tywin won't really lose any face value because it was like the gods decided. I didn't decide this. If the gods wanted it, they would have got him killed. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you think about this aspect? Okay, we have a trial by combat initiated. So I'm going to ask you a few things here. One, do you think that they will allow that, or do you think they will overrule that? Do you think that if it does get overruled, that he will be declared guilty and sent to the wall, or do you think because he tried that he'll now be sentenced to death? Or on the other hand, if they do allow it, if the trial by combat is initiated, do you think they're going to have to make Tyrion be the fighter? Do you think he'll get a champion? Do you think Tywin's going to have to be a fighter, or do you think they will be able to choose a champion? And if they do have to choose champions, what do you think the champions might be? But I think that's a big question. Let's start. Do you think it will be overruled?
No, I think I'll go through them right now. I don't think it'll be overruled. I think that he will get a trial by combat. I think that they might make Tyrion be the fighter. I don't think they'll let Bronn fight for him. However, I think, which would be very, very interesting if this happened, is it would be interesting if they made Jaime be the fighter. Because now, what does Jaime do? Do I let my brother kill me? Because Cersei might be the one that insists that Jaime fights. We should have the leader of the King's Guard fight for, the king. He was the one to be protecting of him. That's where I think it's going to head. I think it's going to end up being Tyrion and Jaime, or it's going to, if they do let Bronn fight, it'll be Jaime and Bronn, which again, that still causes a problem because Tyrion doesn't want to see his brother die, but his brother also doesn't want to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
think about it like this. If Bronn dies, Tyrion's dead. If Jaime dies, Jaime's dead. You get what I'm saying? Like,
so you lose somebody major either way. I think personally it will end up being Jaime and Bronn. I think that, if anything, they'll argue for Tyrion, but then they might argue that, it's not really a fair fight. He's a skilled swordsman versus a dwarf, that, get it an even trial by, they might allow him to plead his case to have an even trial by combat. But yeah, I think that Jaime will end up having to be the fighter in the trial by combat to defend his king's honor, and partially Cersei in her mind, and will be kind of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Jaime, be like, you got to defend him. You're the king's guard and his father. You got to defend the king and you're his father. So you must fight. And, she's a fucking spiteful something. So,
well, interesting predictions. We'll have to see how all that plays out. But with that being said, again, if you guys like what you're watching, leave a like down below. Subscribe to stay tuned for more. You can watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes. That includes the finale on our Patreon. The link for that will be in the description. And Zay, I know you have a Twitch.
I do have a Twitch. I stream Sunday through Friday. Tuesdays and Fridays are with Cam. Come on there, come say hi, come chat it up, watch us play games. And
if you want to know what game he's talking about, there's only one way
to find out. You gotta click on it. My schedule is also on my Twitch bio. If you enjoy the content, feel free to follow, man. I appreciate it. On the road to Twitch partner, I believe, is the one before. Yeah, I think affiliate's the high level one. So road to 100 followers on there for me right now. Cam, I also know that you have a Twitch.
Yep, just your average Cam. I'm playing games like Beetle Bop Boop Dop Bop Bop. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, there's also another link in the description you're going to have to click to find out. And again, my name is Just Your Average Cam. You can check me out there. I'm sure some of you will really enjoy the kind of content that I'm playing. But with that being said, let's not keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's let you go back to your day and have a good one. If you're binge watching this in the future and there are future episodes out, then go enjoy our next reaction. We really hope you do. And thank you for still listening to us right now. With that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one, and peace.